Okay, in this video, I'm gonna talk about OSPF LSA types. So we have, as you can see here, we have type 1 router LSA, type 2 network LSA, type 3 network summary LSA, type 4 ASPR summary LSA, type 5 AS external LSA, type 7 NSSA external LSA. But here in this video, we're just going to focus on router LSA. So router LSAs are basically generated by every router in every area. And we've got three rules or three router LSA rules here. So let me just read them. Number one is a router LSA is generated for an OSPF interface, OSPF speaking interface connected to a stub network. So that is point-to-point or loopback links on which a DR designated router is not elected. And number two is a router LSA is generated for an OSPF speaking interface connected to a transit network, that is Ethernet links, on which a TR is elected. And number three is a router LSA is generated for an OSPF speaking interface on which a TR is not elected, but a neighbor is reachable. I'm gonna actually give you an example of each of these rules later. So right now, let me just talk about this topology here. So we've got R1, R2, R3, and here we have EIGRP, and here we have area 0, here area 1. So here this is the loopback address of R3, and we have a /story network here on this link, point-to-point link, and here we have an Ethernet link, and this is the subnet or network 172.16.2.1/24 or .0/24. Of course, this is the IP address of each interface, and of course R2 has its own loopback address here, and also R1 has its own loopback address here, and it's got this network on the LAN side. So let's take a look at R1. I've actually configured OSPF before prior to recording this video. So I'm just going to show you the configuration of R1. So here, configuration of OSPF on R1. So here, this is the link on, this is the network on this link. So as you can see here, and we have also EIGRP, and this is the LAN network, and this is the loopback of R1 here, and that is the configuration of OSPF and EIGRP. let me show you the output of show IP interface brief. So here, like I said, this is the IP address of this interface, and this is the IP address of loopback. So R1 should have one interface that is participating. I mean that one OSPF interface. So, and that is this interface here. So it's gonna have a one router LSA. So you can actually verify that by doing a show IP OSPF database. So this is R1. So as you can see, the router ID is this .1.1.1.1, and like I said, it's got one link, which is this link, a transit link or Ethernet link, and that is, and this is all just and this is all area 0, and of course this is the network link state, summary net link state, and type 5 or AS external link states. So R1 only has one router LSA, and that is this link. So let's check R2. R2 is gonna have two router LSAs in area 0, and that is this link and the loopback link. So we can verify that by let me show you first this output. So yeah, you can just pause the video if you want and just check the interfaces. And let me show you the configuration of OSPF or OSPF configuration. So you can just pause the video and review. So, but I'm gonna show you the output of show IP OSPF database, just to verify that we have two links for area 0. So area 0, you come here, area 0. So here, like I said, R2 has two links for area 0, and that is this link here and the loopback link. We can actually verify that by doing a show IP OSPF router or database router. And let's go to area 0. So R2, so this is the stub network or the loopback link. Like I said, router LSA is generated for an OSPF speaking interface connected to a stub network, point-to-point or loopback links on which a DR is not elected. So this is an example of that number 1 rule. So this is the router LSA for loopback interface, right? And An example also of rule number 2 is this link here, transit network. So let me read rule number 2 again. A router LSA is generated for an OSPF speaking interface connected to a transit network. That is Ethernet links on which DR is elected. So this is the example of that rule number 2. So we've got 2 links, like I said, for area 0. Or rather, we've got 2 router LSAs for area 0 here. So let's check the links in area 1. So let me just do a show IP OSPF database. So area 1, let's go to area 1. So this is our router, advertising router. So we've got 2 links. So the link on this, the link here between R2 and R3, and actually the neighbor. So let me show you. This is actually an example of rule number 3. A router LSA is generated for an OSPF speaking interface on which a DR is not elected, but a neighbor is reachable. So let me give you an example of that. So show IP OSPF router, and we look for area 1. So area 1 here, this is our router, and this is the stub network, which is this point-to-point network here. Hope you can see my mouse cursor. And also, as I read here, a router LSA is also generated for an OSPF speaking interface on which a DR is not elected, but a neighbor is reachable. So this is an example of number 3. And of course, this is an example of rule number 1. Router LSA is generated for an OSPF speaking interface connected to a stub network. So this is a point-to-point stub network, could be point-to-point or loopback links on which a DR is not elected. So this is an example of that point-to-point link or stub network. So we're done with R2. Let's go to R3. So I'll show you the output of show IP interface brief. You can just pause the video and just check the IP addressing. And let me show you the OSPF configuration. This is the OSPF configuration. So let's check show IP OSPF database. So here, let me just before we check the output, let me just check if we can predict how many router LSAs we have on R3. Actually here on R3 we're gonna have 3 router LSAs, and it's gonna be number 1. So we have router LSA for number 1. Router LSA is generated for an OSPF speaking interface connected to a stub network. So this is a point-to-point network. So we're gonna have a router LSA here, and of course we have our own loopback interface, which is this interface. So we're gonna have the router LSA for that loopback link also. And of course, this one link here is a stub network, or a link that is on which a DR is not elected, but a neighbor is reachable, which is R2. That is our neighbor. So we're gonna have 3 links in area 1 for R3. So we can actually verify that if we check area 1. So here we are correct, R3. So we have 3 links. So we can actually verify that or dig deeper by doing a show IP OSPF database router, and we just look for area 1. So it's actually all area 1. So like I said, we have 3 router LSAs, or number of links. So stub network, so this is the router LSA for stub network or loopback interface. And of course, point-to-point or stub network. I mean, this is just called point-to-point here, but this is just the neighbor, which is, this rule here, number 3. And of course, the router LSA for the stub network itself, which is, this link here. So it's got the network ID or network itself, and the subnet mask. So that's how you can check router LSAs on each router in each area. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye.